Hello, thank you for joining us for our SMAX user group. My name is Brindusha Kevorkian, your host, and I'm here today with Pramila from the product management team. And the topic of today's call is software asset management through Asset Management X. Okay, so if you're here, you're obviously familiar with our SMAX user group, but just a quick recap. We have three types of sessions: feature spotlight, like the one today, where we do a deep dive into SMAX capabilities and best practices. Release readiness, which is a review of upcoming release and share what's new in a release. So that will be coming soon in a couple of weeks. And then office hours, which is just an open session to ask questions and engage with the community. In case you have issues with your computer audio and you would like to interact with us, there is also the phone option, and that should be in your notification and invite, so you can just dial in case you have issues. So in terms of the agenda today, we'll just do a quick update on the latest patches, and then we'll hand it over to Pramila on the software asset management presentation, and she'll cover the solution differentiators, the key features, the out-of-the-box vendors, and talk about the future plans, and then we'll wrap up. Just a quick update on the latest patches. No change on the 2021-11. We did talk last time on the office hour session about a new patch on the 2021-08 release with a number of fixes. There was one small error in the release notes, and that was the log4j version. So that has been corrected now. So it's the same log4j version as for all other patches that have been recently released. And with that, I'm going to hand it over to Pramila.
Thank you, Brindusha, and hello, everyone. My name is Pramila Devineni. I'm the product manager for Asset Management X, which also covers software asset management. So today, as part of our session, I wanted to walk you through software asset management, but just before we go there, wanted to take a step back and talk about what Asset Management X is and what the solution offers as part of the entire ESM portfolio. So Asset Management X is built on Optic platform, allowing you to deliver consolidated end-to-end asset lifecycle management for both IT hardware as well as software needs. Right from request to fulfillment to managing software titles, all the way through retirement and disposable, most in an automated process. Asset Management X leverages best in industry practices that allow you to have better governance of assets, automate lifecycle processes through procurement and retirement. You can improve efficiency with increased visibility into asset lifecycle, minimize wastage or wasted resources by identifying, reallocating the underutilized resources. Gain visibility into asset lifecycle by leveraging capabilities like our modern UI, smart dashboards that we have both for hardware and software asset management, like your compliance dashboards, and have end-to-end workflows to automate your processes so you have complete control of your licenses, where in the life cycle they are, or if you have to renew some licenses, or if some of the maintenance contracts are expiring, you could control all of them. So users and customers of asset data, like your IT service desk or even your regular employees, will be able to easily request and fulfill assets from catalogs of approved assets and from approved vendors, all set through AMX. The solution is part of a codeless configuration principle, which not only creates quick time to value, but also enables faster updates or any maintenance. The new asset management solution can be consumed either on-prem, cloud, or through a SaaS offering. We support all three modes, resulting in greater cost optimization. We also support this through a mobile platform, allowing you to access your hardware and software asset management needs, and of course, extend it to our enterprise service management space. You have inbuilt analytics and machine learning support for both your hardware and software needs to provide better insights and also superior user satisfaction. To top it all off, one very good thing about software asset management, or in general about Asset Management X, is you have this native integration with UCMJB, which helps in better asset management and software discovery needs. That also means that you are ensured with most up-to-date data and don't have to worry about those custom integrations between systems to bring in your software information and also your consumption information, and it is real-time sync. So you really don't have to do those complex, overwhelming or time-consuming integrations. So what sets the solution actually apart is you get all you need as a built-in solution and not bolted on like some of the players in the market, especially with features like native built-in UCMGB or with asset discovery fueled by universal discovery. So you avoid those custom integrations to be done. We also have native service asset configuration management, SACM, along with your service delivery maps that are built into it. All your hardware, portfolio, contract, vendor management, procurement, and financial management are all in one place so that your contracts could be directly associated even to your hardware assets or to your softwares that you're bringing in or managing. We also have, with codeless configuration, you'll be able to escape those endless implementation cycles and expensive upgrades. This not only creates quick time to value, but also enables faster updates and any maintenance activity. You can avoid tool customizations and technical debt with quick time to value. We automate seamless upgrades. There's a flexible deployment option. So you have the lowest TCO that you can get anywhere in the market. There's a flexible licensing that could be either consumed for named or concurrent users. There's no additional charge for features like service mapping of assets. And if you're purchasing Asset Management X, there are some of the licenses for discovery and software asset management that are included as part of your solution. I wanted to go ahead and talk about software asset management now specifically. So as we all know, software asset management is a complex balancing act between being over-provisioned and under-licensing, all while trying to ensure compliance to existing contracts. You want to be able to tackle software asset management smartly and efficiently to manage your compliance and control your risk, while ensuring that your organization has just the right amount of software licenses to be productive. With software asset management, you'll be able to optimize utilization while controlling your risk and audit through compliance dashboards. With SAM in Asset Management X, you will be easily able to ensure compliance of your software titles through a very interactive and vendor-specific dashboards. You could monitor your license utilizations again and optimize your license usage through our upgrade and downgrade matrices that are inbuilt into the system, which will allow you to create your own paths for license calculations and license assignment. You can also always ensure compliance with our out-of-the-box dashboards that will not only help you understand how many licenses are being used, but will also help you understand the cost of actually being compliant or the number of licenses that is being required or the number of rights that you need to purchase. Of course, all of this comes into play with your ability to track the software spend or the ability to make decisions for your better future purchase options. And this is all tied up into our features like expense lines and other financial modules associated with your cost centers and your budgets to make those rational decisions about purchasing. So as I was talking, we do have these compliance dashboards that are out of the box. So these are basically card-based dashboards, which will provide you a quick product level overview of the licensed compliance status installed. We have these broken down both for on-prem and SaaS software. So you can dig into each one of them and understand specific versions, what versions are compliant, what versions are not compliant. You can even drill down to a level where these are associated with the actual device, which is part of your SACM module or inside your asset management. So this kind of these deployed or installed softwares are directly linked back to your device in the SACM module. You can also understand how these calculations are done and all of that. So with our future release, what we're trying to do is provide the ability to generate reports on top of it so that you can actually customize to what you want to see and customize these dashboards in a way that actually makes more sense to your organization and help you with those reporting. So that is something that we're bringing out with the future release, which is the ability to generate reports from it here. And of course, there is this installed products where literally all the magic really happens. So this is a place where we actually bring in information about both your deployed as well as deployed softwares from UCMDB. We bring it onto here, and then we take the number of existing licenses that you have purchased or brought into a contract. And here is where we combine both of those and calculate the compliance. So the different license rules and metrics that are applied. We do provide out-of-the-box license rules and metrics for each vendor that we support. But again, everything is super customizable, and you can just go in and create your own license rules and metrics and attach them to a product. A product can definitely have more than one license rule, just have one primary and multiple secondary license rules, and those can be applied at as what it seems fit. We also allow you to bring in the metrics and associate them to your license rules from here. Next, inside the products, we have something called as license compatibility matrix, which allows you for license reconciliation. For example, if a particular version of software is less available or less quantity available, you can definitely switch up and upgrade those licenses based on your utilization. This is basically a GUI for your license versions. This is all click and play, and you can move around based on your consumption and or create those maps. We have both for upgrade and downgrade paths, so it provides that flexibility for you to make sure that you're utilizing your available license to the optimal amount. Wanted to talk about some of the vendors that we support today. Talking about vendors, we do support vendors like Oracle, Microsoft. With Oracle, we do provide all kind of like out-of-the-box license metrics. One really cool thing about one really cool thing about Oracle is that we are a vendor certified with Oracle LMS, which means you can leverage our reporting data directly for any audit purpose with Oracle. We also support Microsoft. With Microsoft, we support both on-prem and SaaS installations, including their Office 365 installation. We do provide, again, out-of-the-box license metrics, and all these license rules and metrics that are provided out of the box are updated on a periodic basis by our content team. So that way you don't have to worry about any outdated license rules, and we automatically link it to them. We also have extended our support to VMware, IBM, and Adobe with our recent releases. So we can, with VMware specifically, you can manage products including vCloud, vRealize, and vSphere suites, and as well as individual components. We again support out-of-the-box license metrics, which include per CPU or per core installations for vSphere and EXIs, and you have PLUs, or portable license units, for vRealize suite, and we have per CPU for vCloud suite. With IBM, you can manage license compliance by tracking in IBM products. So this this again the products that are included support both complex server licensing scenarios. We have PVU and RVU license metrics that are inbuilt into it. We let you bring in ILMT or big fixed data provider through a universal discovery integration into software asset management. With Adobe specifically, with Adobe Product Synchronization, you can now automate discovery and uncover usage across the enterprise, regardless which group or individual produces the subscription. You can optimize and control less cost by identifying unused licenses and relocating them efficiently by leveraging, again, other features like Compatibility Matrix. Of course, all these vendors that I spoke about come with their own predefined set of rules and that are already inbuilt into the system for you. We support Microsoft System Center Configuration Manager, SCCM integration, and also support a software that is licensed per installation or per device, such as VMware workstations or WinZips that you have. We also provide an SDK that allows you to set up compliance rules for software vendors not currently supported out of the box, as well as you could enjoy other features like vendor-specific predefined license rules and out-of-the-box license metrics that are provided. So this is an overview of what we have as part of our software asset management today. I wanted to go ahead and talk about where we're next or what vendors we are adding as part of our SAM agenda, both for on-prem and SaaS content. So as I said, today we support vendors like Oracle, Microsoft, VMware, IBM, and Adobe. But with our future releases, we are extending support to vendors like SAP, Oracle DB and Microsoft SQL cluster supports and Autodesk. Also adding support to cloud content like Amazon, Azure, and Google Clouds. With SaaS specifically, because that's an ever-growing need of area that we realize, we're extending support to content like Salesforce, WebEx, G Suite, of course, Jira, Zoom, DocuSign, and many others. We also wanted to provide an open API for all the SaaS vendors so that it's easy to bring in your own SaaS vendors and really don't have to wait for that out-of-the-box integration that we would have to provide. Regarding functional features, apart from the content that we're doing, what we're also doing is focusing on user experience. So today, some of the dashboards and reports that you're seeing on SAM do not provide that flexibility of customization, as you're aware. So that is something that is being heavily focused and invested at this point. And with the future releases, you would be able to see more flexibility around that area with ability to customize those reports and dashboards. We also wanted customers to actually take the data from SAM and utilize it across processes in other places, like ability to extend your contracts or manage your new purchase order requirements from and SAM based on the license usage. So that is something that is also part of our roadmap for future releases. We wanted to also support multiple devices scenario under each product, and that is also there. So license reconciliation is already available today, but we are investing in enhancing it and making it even better. So that is something I have as part of the roadmap. Any questions on this or anything that I presented? I would be more than happy to talk about the features that we spoke about just before I hand it over to Brindusha.
Thank you, Pramila. I opened all the lines, so you can come off your individual mute and ask questions or add questions in the question manager. And even if you don't have questions, if you have any feedback or you would like to share how you're using asset management capabilities today, we are very interested in hearing from you.
Hey, good afternoon. It is Danny. I have a quick question. I find it out that current release of the SMAX does not allow us to add any new fields in the product entity. So is there any way we can do that?
You mean the product entity of SAM, right?
Exactly.
I don't think that should be a situation, but I can check with my R&D and get back, because you should be able to customize that. I'll take it up as a follow item and look into it, and I'll get back to you.
Sure. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Okay. Other questions? Okay, I see.
A couple of
Question in the
questions have come in from the question manager.
Yeah,
Go ahead, producer.
exactly. What kind of integration we can have with SCCM? Can we have all the software inventory by SCCM integrated in SMAX?
You can bring in all your software consumption or software integration data via UCMDB into SAM. If that answered the question.
Thank you. And then the next one is, where can I see the current content available for SAM SAS supported today? So I think we have that in the release notes, right? As far as I remember.
That's correct.
We do publish the list in the release notes.
That's right.
Okay. So just a follow-up from the first question regarding SCCM, but we already have this working in what SMAX version?
I'm not following the question there. So just to clarify a little bit, SAM relies on the software discovery capabilities in UCMDB and references that data. So if you're interested in utilizing SCCM information for software license compliance, you need to integrate SCCM into UCMDB. And then SAM will leverage that information. And that's available in the with the recent versions of the SAM module and UCMDB.
Yeah, so the integration is not between SCCM and SMAX directly, it's through UCMDB.
You have to bring in your data through UCMDB.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, can you explain a little more about the custom dashboards and reports in the future?
Sure. So, I mean, this is all part of our roadmap and which is ever changing, but with the future releases, what you'll see specifically with reporting and SAM is the ability to customize those dashboards on compliance, as well as generate reports at product levels and version levels. To whatever, suppose there are like 100 versions that are being deployed of SQL, you can customize those reports to only specific product versions, and basically have that flexibility around reporting in that area. Compliances.
Okay, one more question. Wanted to check whether we can use compliance table via Postgres views for reporting in BI tool like Power BI. So no, this information is not available as part of currently as part of Postgres views because it's not in the standard studio tables. And I know Steve and Pramila, I think there are some work being done to make some of this information available in future releases, but it's not currently there. Will all fields from SAM be available for the reports? I think you need, Kate, I think you need to clarify your question a bit. Installed software on devices.
So Kate, unfortunately, we would not be doing a device level reporting right now. It's going to be product and version level up in some future releases. And eventually we would support devices, but that's not like happening in the next release.
Okay. Other questions? I don't see any other questions, so we'll have a short, one more. Would also like to thank you all for all the efforts around SMACS and AMX. Well, thank you for the feedback. Okay, so let's go to the next slide and just wrap up. So 2 requests we have for you. Next slide. We covered this before, but just a reminder. We would really appreciate if you can help us with Gartner Peer Insights. So this is a way for us to get more reviews on Gartner Peer Insights and contribute to the reviews. You don't need to identify. So it's going to be an anonymous review on the site, right? So your information is not going to be made available on the site, and you can do that by using your LinkedIn account. It's helping us a lot with SMACS, with the promotion of SMACS. And keep in mind that this is something that gets renewed every year. So even if you've done that in the past years, you know, it's always useful for us to get new and updated reviews. Next slide. So what topics you would like to see for SMACS user groups, please let us know. And I see Danny is asking, Steve, do you mind posting the URL for Gartner reviews in the chat if you have it handy? Okay. So next slide. Okay, so if you're here, obviously you're familiar with the sessions, but just a reminder, the link to the calendar, of events, and as well as the recording of previous sessions. And speaking about next sessions, just next slide, please, Pramila. So in 2 weeks from now, next session will be a spotlight on configuring and managing certificates. So that's going to be a very interesting technical presentation, which is a review of various certificates available in our solution across the modules, and as well how to manage the certificates, how to update them, and so on. And then the session after will be an office hours session, and then towards the end of April, we'll have the release readiness. We'll provide of the May release. We'll provide an update and advertise that on the community as it becomes available. Okay, let's see, any other questions? So one more question that came in. I think we should have the barcode scan to add an item, laptop, desktop, printer in SMAX, or open an issue based on this barcode scan. So this sounds like, yeah, like a good idea. And I think it would be good to create an idea as well. Yeah, for it. Go ahead, Pramila.
No, so that's right. So today we have barcode scanner in a way that you could actually bring in your procurement information and retrieve the asset, but we are trying to expand it to other use cases of asset management. So if in case you have more ideas around this, please put in an idea exchange or share it with us on how you generally, what are the use cases that you generally see around it, and we would be very happy to build on top of it, because that is something that we're working with the mobile team at this point.
Okay. Thank you. And Volker, you have some suggestions for sessions. I mean, if you like to come off mute and share them with us, or you can email us the list as well. Either way works. Okay. Okay, good. So we'll get that list in the future. And then we got one suggestion about disaster recovery. So Mike, can you share a bit more information? What type of information you'd like to see about disaster recovery?
Yeah, so I would look at it as, you know, there's a couple different use cases there where it's a total disaster. You know, restoring it to the same infrastructure or restoring it to new infrastructure. You know, and also, you know, even like, you know, whether it's, you know, the CDF is all gone in the configuration, or even just the databases. You know, whether the estimated databases got to restore.
Right. Okay, and this would be in addition to what we have in the documentation, because we document the various use cases. So is that not enough? What extra information are you looking for?
I mean, I went through that documentation, right? But you know, just going through it, you know, there's a lot that's not in there. Even on the backups and stuff right there, setting up the you know, restoring the databases with the users and stuff, and even on the disaster recovery, you know, if you're setting up a new target system, it's not necessarily documenting where you set it up and then you delete the SMAX databases, right, and restore them from a backup and things like that.
Okay.
So I've muddled through it, you know, trying to find, you know, the stuff that's not necessarily in there, but there's a lot of things that aren't obvious that I have found.
Okay, so that's good feedback. We'll take it back and think about it. Obviously, because there are so many possible combinations, right? Depending where you are, on premise versus cloud, each setup has its own, you know, specificities. We'll have to figure out how we can have a session that's covering. I mean, still useful, but without having to personalize it for each specific deployment. Okay.
In the scenario that I was going with on-prem too.
Yeah. Okay. Understood. Okay. Thank you.
And one last thing on that. That's where I was migrating it to brand new Red Hat 8 servers from 7, right? And there was a, you know, trying to use the combination of setting up a target server with the DR and the backup right there.
Okay. Thank you. Any other topics people would like to cover before we wrap up? Okay. If not, thank you, Pramila, for the presentation, and hope to see you all in 2 weeks for another interesting session. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.